Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me on the Where's Shmee US Edition tour. Today near to Atlanta in Georgia to visit and catch up with my friend Ed from VINwiki. I'm here at the VINwiki garage where I came to visit with my Ford GT, back this time with the GT500, but today it is delivery day of Ed's new to him flood-damaged Ferrari 599 GTB. We're going to have a quick catch-up, go around some of the new cars in the garage. I have got a gift that has travelled around the world that I need to give him as well. We're going to shoot some stories, and then it's delivery time of the 599. Hey Ed, how's it going?
Welcome back.
Thank you, good to be back.
Glad to have you. It's a few things have changed since the last time you were here.
That's for sure. Garage is looking very, very nice.
Thank you very much. The guys from Obsessed Garage came through, new flooring, lights, cabinets, air compressor, pressure washer, all the things. And a couple of new cars as well since you've been here last.
A couple of new cars indeed. I mean, the 430 Scud and the LP640 are here. We went out in the 640 last time.
That's it. We were talking about cars that you can't bear to be without. I think these are both likely fixtures. That's my favorite color combination, and Silverstone over red happens to be the color of the Flood 599 that's on the way. So I'll have matching, period correct, Ferrari, so I'm excited about that. And then this is new since last you were here, also a flood car. This is the car for CarTrek 1 that I did with Freddy, Tavarish, as well as Tyler Hoover. So we did kind of a Top Gear style challenge to see who could buy the coolest car for the price of a C8 Corvette. And so this was a car that was in a Santa Monica flood, probably quite muddy because it clogged up everything. But now it's pretty functional. So it's an 06 Gallardo Spyder, true manual car. There's about 83 that they brought to the US as true sticks. And this is one of them. If you look at the seat, you can see the water level was quite high. But now, again, it's been put back together, and I love it. Again, it stands for a fun time that I had with some great friends, and I definitely enjoyed it, so I think it's going to stay around for a while as well. Also, picked up a Diablo with a pretty crazy story that I can't entirely talk about just yet, but it's a 1997 silver Diablo Roadster, and not in the greatest of shapes, but maybe one day it will be. I guess we'll have to find out. And then across the way there's a 2002 S55 AMG that wasn't supposed to be here, but unfortunately COVID closed Canada. And so there's a tradition in coastal Alaska that on the 4th of July, they take old junky cars and they fire them off a 300-foot cliff. And so the plan with this car was to do that. It looks very, very nice, but even though it was $102,000 new, it was now $2,000, and it was the kind of lowest form of transportation that I thought I could drive 6,000 miles from here to there and then watch it sail off a cliff with all of its errors ablaze. And so that's kind of where we're at. And yeah, we've got the 599 coming this evening and another car coming next week as well.
Oh, really?
Yes. I bought Paris Hilton's SLR McLaren.
Wow.
yeah. So that'll be a fun one, and it should be along fairly soon.
That's awesome. and while we're standing here, that license plate.
That's it. We do like license plates around here. Obviously, the VINwiki app allows you to pull the VIN from the license plate. But here in Georgia and in most states in the US, you can just really request whatever license plate you want. And so most of them have hopefully clever. This one says flooded. The Scud says missile. The Mercy says VINwiki. And then we have a CarTrek tag that will go on the 599 as soon as it passes its re-inspection for having been a salvage car. So the great thing about the 599 is that I have a picture of it underwater. It was in a flood in Reno years ago, and there's a news story where it was the main image. And so I don't know what this thing looks like half submerged, other than the fact that it was black. It's not actually blue, it's wrapped. But the 599, we know that it went right in the water. There's an elderly man walking away from it. It's wonderful.
That's cool. Well, cliff dive, it's going to be sad that is going to happen, but I guess it will be fun. And talking of license plates, I have something for you here inside the GT500. This is quite the story.
Yes! Oh my goodness. All the discussions that we've had about this particular number plate. And yes!
This is a show plate, P440 CPJ, the story behind the F1 GTR. I mean, I should direct people to your channel to get the full ins and outs of that.
Well, certainly, but we have been pursuing 1995 or 6, we think, McLaren F1 that is disappeared in Mexico, that was owned by El Chapo's greatest drug runner, a guy named El Robachivas, the goat thief, or Ricardo Beltran, or Humberto Ojeda, and he was given as a gift a brown over red with gold wheels McLaren F1 wearing this license plate. However, this has also been seen more recently affixed to the Harrods F1 GTR that has an entirely different VIN, but we've been chasing possible theories about why that might be.
Well, it may or may not have worn this on which car, who even knows, but you can keep those for show, for fun, part of the memorabilia in the collection.
Many, many thanks. I really, really appreciate that. What a gift.
Absolute pleasure. They've been around the world as well. They went to Dubai, over to Florida, and now up here.
More traveled than any other British plate reader.
That's for sure.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. They'll go on the VINwiki set.
Definitely. Well, I think we need to catch up with the transporter, find out what the plan is with that, and then head over for the delivery of the 599. We've driven over then, just going through a bit of a dip here, because this is the truck that has Ed's Ferrari 599 inside. So we will park up somewhere and then go see it being unloaded. Ed, these are the worst possible conditions.
Yeah, this is absolutely the wrong way to buy an automobile. Sight unseen. It was right that I found it on Autotechus, but it was not necessarily a good idea to buy a Ferrari that was in a flood without a PPI. But here it is. It's a 2007 599, just 8,101 miles. And it's a retrofit HGTE, so in 07 in the US you couldn't get the HGTE options from the factory, but many of them were dealer installed. And so this car I think was like the 26th 599 that came to the US. Grigio Silverstone over red.
I'm gonna try and squeeze underneath.
Yeah, let's look at it.
It's up top. I guess it's about to start.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna be standing right underneath. That will sound good. Yeah, up there is the 599. Good, but Ed, I don't think it sounds like a stock exhaust.
It does not, and that was a popular complaint about both the 599 and even the 599 HGTE, is that they were too quiet. And so I would assume that's why it doesn't have the standard HGTE tips, and that it's been replaced with something more boisterous.
The deep, it's a proper throaty grumble.
That's right.
As he moves it out onto the back edge. I always get a little bit anxious when cars go onto these things.
Yeah, I've seen them fall off. I tried to buy a Saline S7 once that had fallen off the back of the truck.
That's so you. I'm not even surprised.
It was not repaired well.
Oh dear. Well, this is running. It's coming out.
Yeah, this is functional for a car that I bought. Like, just this demonstration proves that it's better than most.
It's working. It's moving. Down it comes then in the pouring rain. The 599 without scud shields on the side, which is a very rare thing for these. You nearly always see them with the yellow Scuderia shields worn on the sides.
The tires are only 11 years old.
Only 11 years old in pouring rain. Sounds like a perfectly safe combination. My hand is freezing. It's brutally cold here. But look at this. Ed's new 599. Touchdown in Atlanta, Georgia. On the ground, 599.
There we go.
Looking amazing. Just apart from the weather and it being dark. Look at the window. It needs the blower running as quickly as possible. Grey paint, silver wheels. Sounding like this. Winning combo, you can see. Yeah, it's cold out, as you can see from that. I mean, these conditions are atrocious, absolutely atrocious. Could we have picked a worse day slash time?
Not at all. That's what you do.
Well, let's convoy back. We're gonna head back towards base. Obviously, I'm gonna drive in the GT500. We thought I might hop in, but in these conditions, I'm just gonna safely drive this back onwards. So, this is a million miles from ideal. Oh, what are we doing? I actually need to get into the left lane, but yeah, that looks good. These are the worst possible conditions for doing this. I'm on Sport Cup 2s, he's on old tyres, in the dark, in the pouring rain. Not what we wanted today at all. I'm not gonna lie, but that is really loud. It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? The sound of the V12.
gauges are a little intermittent, but getting there.
Tends to happen, I guess.
Yes. It had 500 bonus miles on it. So that's cool.
Interesting. Driving okay?
You know, it actually drove quite well. It sounds great. It shifts nicely. It definitely has not been driven much, although it does have 500 more miles than it was sold to me with, and I don't believe the trucker is responsible for that in the last 24 hours. So yeah, you know, you kind of buy these things not expecting them to be nice. There's a crack in the front bumper. The only thing that's troubling that I noticed as it was pulling off is there's a bunch of caked on junk right here and a glued on part of the tire. So I gotta make sure that's not a weld. It's too wide, but I gotta, you know, make sure, because I don't want to drive 1,000 miles for CarTrek on a welded wheel. But apart from that, it's got an airbag light on that I was told about and expected. The strange thing was, and I've never seen this, when they started it, there was a graininess to the screen that's in the gauges.
Oh, really?
And
like almost a battery thing or an alternator?
Well, it looked like, I mean, the car's been underwater. It looked like it would be the consequence of being underwater. And so I was like, oh, darn it, they didn't tell me about this. And 17 miles into our drive here, it just clicks on and looks perfect. So, it healed itself. Yeah.
So faulty screen no longer? Maybe,
exactly,
maybe not.
Maybe not. So the TPMS sensors did not report back, so those tend to go bad battery-wise. But overall, it's a real car.
It sounds good. I mean, it sounds pretty loud, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Plenty of room.
How deep underwater was it?
I mean, it was pretty darn deep.
Like...
I mean, it was, yeah. And you can kind of tell that, like, we didn't have any lights to look at it. There's still rainwater on the seats. But I mean,
it looks pretty clean inside.
It's okay. I can't imagine they replaced, like, the carpets. I'm sure it wasn't underwater for more than like an hour.
And it never had the doors opened, I guess, either.
I mean, he had to have gotten out. We saw the dude
windows
in the picture. He didn't look like an out the windows kind of guy.
I don't know. Maybe you do try when it's your Ferrari 599 that's partially underwater.
Well, if it was that deep, it would have been coming in through everywhere. It's not like the car's watertight. So I'm sure there was a lot of concern there, but yeah, it was like a 338 MSRP. And then probably another 30 to 40 for the HGTE stuff, and it supposedly has a bunch of MA carbon like mirrors and things like that. So I don't know, I love gray over red Ferraris. Ever since the 550 World Speed Record cars, like Hammond owned, I absolutely loved it. Actually, the one they set the records in at Nardo, they did fastest 100 miles, fastest 100 kilometers, and most miles driven in an hour. And they did 197 miles in an hour in a 550 Maranello that was a Saudi spec car, so it had hollow cats, and they had a built-in roll cage, factory race seats. It was Grigio Titania over Bordeaux, and the owner of Ferrari of Atlanta has it.
How do you do 197 miles flat out without running out of fuel?
And you had to do a fuel stop. That was with a fuel stop. They welded tube steel under the rockers because they also had to do a tire change in order to qualify for whatever one of the records was. So they had it so they could just slam the jacks under and put it in the air. And so I just think it's the classiest color combination a Ferrari could have. And so
now you have two the same.
Exactly.
Two exactly the same.
Matching.
Beautiful.
I guess this one's technically Bordeaux rather than red. The Scud is red.
Oh well. Red. Still red on grey. Grey on red.
Exactly. Well, let's go get some dinner.
Sounds epic. It is time to head back. So we hop on board the GT500 and head back towards Ed's garage. We are back at base and doing a quick shuffle around. That sounds amazing. So yes, that's going to move to that side, and then the two Ferraris will be together. That sounds really cool. Just got to warm up a touch, I think. It is freezing this evening. Thankfully not pouring the rain so much anymore. Sorry, that's really quite loud. You probably can't hear me clearly. Ed's just taking it out. So this garage will now be two Lambos and two Ferraris. Should be quite fun. The LP is over that side. The 599 is coming in here, which means we can see it under bright lights for the first time. The lighting in Ed's garage is epic. This looks really, really good, to be honest.
The only thing about this whole car, of which there are many things wrong, that's troubling me is this, because it looks like a wheel weld. And I don't want to go on a road trip leaving a week from tomorrow for 2 weeks trying to go 1,000 miles in this car. But
It's coming out.
well, okay, yeah, it's some kind of goo or sealant. But the tire, okay, it's super glue.
Yeah?
Well, so there was a gouge out of the tire, which doesn't matter. The tires are 12 years old. I got to get those replaced this week anyway. But I guess when they tried to glue that piece back on, it must have been here. So when it came inboard,
It's just drifted.
ripped, and that's where it dry. Yeah, that makes better sense. So not a weld. Oh,
Not too bad then.
ideal possible outcome there. But man, how do you curb all the wheels, all ways?
You just do.
Somebody paid almost $150,000 over MSRP for this car. At one point, it was documented on Ferrari Chat.
Wow.
Because I mean, you remember when 599s came out, the hottest thing in the world. Because it was obviously a big step up from a 550, 575 generation car. And yeah, but no shields, bright colors. It's gonna be a great road trip.
Oh yes. This is when Ed is thoroughly investigating if all is well.
So far, so okay, which is about all we'd expect out of this one, but it should make for a good time.
And it's going to be good in CarTrek?
That's it, yeah, it's gonna go on a 1,000-mile road trip, or at least as much of it as it can handle.
That'll be fun.
Absolutely.
That's going to be, well, yeah, I mean, I look forward to it. I've enjoyed some of the last CarTrek videos an awful lot.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching, and thank you to Auto Tempest for supporting us and supporting you on your road trip.
Absolutely, with the GT500, which has brought me to be here with you today. Now, I've actually already been to see Freddy's car for CarTrek.
Yes.
Now I've seen your car for CarTrek.
And
I think I need to go and visit Hoovie.
There you go. That's it.
Coming soon. Coming to visit Tyler soon. Well, awesome. Congrats on the addition.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your help picking it up. I've never had a car pickup delivery video before. Ever.
Really?
No, this is the first.
It's the first? Brilliant. Well, it was a lot of fun. Great to catch up as well. Guys, I'm sure you're already following Ed and the VINwiki stories. If not, do go check out some of the videos as well that we've been shooting today too.
More to come.
For now though, enjoy the plates. I'm glad to have gotten to you.
Yes.
That is all. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.